In the last video, some people asked me how I animated this flower. Let me break it down for you. We'll focus on a single petal first. Let's start with the shape, just the half of a petal. I'll tell you why in a minute. Easy way to get this shape is to add 3 points like this, using your pen tool to create a weird kite-like shape. And then with the pen tool selected, hold Alt, you'll see your cursor change into this. This is the vertex convert tool, and clicking a point with this will change the point from linear to Bezier. Let's adjust them to make the shape more like a petal. This looks better. Let's change the fill from solid to linear gradient. We'll do my favorite type of gradient. It will start and end with black and white, and in the middle we'll add our accent color. And change the direction of the gradient so it smooths out in the middle to create the line that petals have in the middle. Let's add some border to this shape, but we're not going to use strokes for this. Right-click on the layer, and from Layer Styles, let's select Inner Glow. Just see how it adds a stroke that beautifully blends into the colors. Now that we're done with this half of the petal, we can press Ctrl D to duplicate this layer, and then right-click, transform, and then click Flip Horizontal. Now let's just nudge this shape with arrow keys to close in the gap between these two leaves. I'll just do a little extra to improve this shape, like adding a glow at the tip of this petal and so on, and have a final shape. Now a few of you asked how I did the blur at the ends of the flower. Let's create a solid and name it Blur Map. We'll add gradient ramp to it and hide it for now. Now let's create adjustment layer on top of these flower layers and add camera lens blur and change the blur map layer to blur map. By doing this, the camera blur will be max in the white area of the gradient ramp and no blur in the black area. So we can adjust our gradient ramp accordingly to get our desired blur. Now let's move to animation. Let's add one more adjustment layer on top of everything and add CC Bend It to it. We'll move the end point to the end of the petal and the start point somewhere above the comp. Now we can bend it left and right using the bend slider. We can keyframe this and then do the graph of it. The bend animation is done. Now let's add a null layer and move the null layer to the end of the petal and parent all the shape layers of the petal to the null layer so we can rotate and scale from this point. Now we can just pre-comp everything and once again, move the anchor point to the end of the petal so we can duplicate and rotate it accordingly. Once you have arranged your layers into a flower, you can select all the layers and hold Ctrl plus Alt and drag the selected layers to give them offset. And there you have it. Your flower animation is done.